Above, what are various typecasting functions we have? Are you getting what are various typecasting functions we have? Sir, from other types, if you want to convert into int type, then automatically we should go for int function. Are you getting that, sir? Int function. If you want to convert from other types to int, then we can go for int function, right? If you want to convert from other functions into float type, other values into float type, then automatically float function we require to use. Similarly, complex function, and then similarly complex function, and then bool function, str function. Are you getting that? Okay, sir, int, float, complex, bool, str, these 5 are fundamental data types present inside Python, sir. Sir, from one type to another type, happily we are allowed to convert, no problem at all. Corresponding functions are available. Sir, I have float value is there, sir. Just observe that. I have float value is there. I want to convert into int value. Can you please tell which function I require to use for this conversion? Please respond. Which function I require to use for this conversion? Good, good. Sir, I have float value is there. Float to int. I want to convert. Which function we require to use int function, right? Similarly, I have, sir, bool value is there. Okay, bool value true is there, sir. I want to convert bool value into int value, sir. Anyone, can you please tell which function I require to use? Bool to int. Which function I require to use, right? Int function. Good man. Int function we require to use, sir. Sir, similarly, I have int value is there, sir. I want to convert this int value into str value. Can you please tell which function I require to use, right? Sir, from other types to str, if you want to convert, then automatically which function we require to use, right? Str. Remember this one, sir. This function is called str function, right? Sir, similarly, I have, sir, complex number is there, sir. I have complex number is there. This complex number I want to convert into value. Int value, sir, complex number to int value. Can you please tell which function I require to use? Good, good. Which function I require to use? Array, respond, man. Which function I require to use? Complex number to int value. Which function I require to use, right? The required function is good. Respond, man. Respond. Some people are telling by flow. Anand, which function we require to use? Complex. No. It is a complex to int, right? Then automatically we require to use int function. Correct, right? Array, respond. Correct, right? We require to use which function? Int function, right? Sorry, man. Complex numbers cannot be converted into int type. Remember that, sir. By mistake, if you are trying to convert, then immediately we are going to get type error. Cannot convert complex numbers into int type. Everyone can able to understand, right? Sir, this is one important point what you people should aware clearly, right? Okay, sir, same way I have complex number is there, sir. I have complex number is there. I want to convert into float type. Then automatically, is it possible or not possible? Not possible, man. Not possible. Complex numbers cannot be converted into type, cannot be converted into float type. No problem, sir. You can't convert. But complex numbers, is it possible to convert into Boolean type or not? Yes, man. Can be converted into Boolean type or not? Yes. Sir, for that, which function we require to use here? Bool is the function we require to use, right? Sir, similarly, sir, any type to str type, if you want to convert, str function we require to use. Everyone can aware? Sir, these 5 functions are by default considered as typecasting functions. Sir, among Python fundamental data types, one type of value, if you want to convert to another type, then automatically we should go for these 5 functions we require to use. Correct, man? Sir, Vedanta, these functions are by default considered explicit typecasting only. Remember, because we are converting one type to another type explicitly by using the corresponding functions. That's why it is by default considered as explicit typecasting or typecasting functions, right? Okay. That's all. Next, one more point I covered in the last sessions, right? Sir, this point is a very, very important point, sir. Sir, now, what is the point I covered here? How many people remembered? I don't know, sir. Fundamental data types, fundamental data types, fundamental data types versus fundamental data types versus immutability. Yes, have you remembered, right? Versus immutability. A bit internal level, memory level I explained. Have you remembered, right? Okay, fundamental data types versus immutability. I covered this one, sir. Sir, all fundamental data types are immutable. Can you spell out what is the meaning of immutable, sir? Once we create an object, we are not allowed to perform any changes in that object. Sir, if you are trying to perform the change, with those changes, a new object by default will be created. This thing is by default considered immutable. This thing is by default considered as what? Immutable. Non-changeable behavior is by default considered as immutable, right? Sir, why immutability concept is required? I hope you people may remember. Yes, man. Why immutability concept is required? I hope you people may remember. Sir, I covered already, right? Sir, in Python, suppose I'm taking x is equal to 10, x is equal to 10, y is equal to 10, z is equal to 10, sir. Sir, now can you please tell how many objects will be created? Hey, respond. How many objects will be created? Only one object. But how many references by default will be there? 3 references. Remember that, sir. Only one object, but 3 references by default will be there, sir. Now, have a look once, sir. This is just only one object. Its value is 10, sir. Only one object. Its value is 10, sir. X is pointing to this object. Y is also pointing to this object. And Z is also pointing to this object only. Even practically, programmatically, I showed already, right? Okay. X, Y, Z. All the 3 reference variables pointing to this object only. So the biggest advantage of this approach is, let me repeat once again, sir. In Python, if any object is required to create, my Python interpreter never going to create object directly. First it will check with the required content. Is there any object already there or not? If any object already there, then automatically existing object by default will be used instead of creating the new object. So if with the required content, if an object is not already there, then only a new object by default will be created. So the biggest advantage of this approach is, anyone, can you please tell what is the biggest advantage, sir? Respond. Memory utilization by default will be improved or not? Memory utilization by default will be improved. Performance also by default will be improved. What is the biggest advantage? Yes, what is the biggest advantage? We are not required to create, sir, several objects. We require to create, sir, just only one object. That's why. So the biggest advantage is performance also by default will be improved, right? Sir, Divya is asking some doubt. Wonderful doubt, sir. Just our doubt is, just observe a bit carefully, sir. This is our doubt. So can you please observe? This answer is also very important answer, right? Sir, now just observe that, sir, checking for every value in memory, it won't decrease the speed. Yes, definitely it decreases the speed. I mean, performance is going to be down. But make sure object creation is most costly operation than this checking operation. Yeah, are you getting that? Sir, object creation is most costly operation than this checking operation, right? Sir, just observe that. In the classroom, this particular student is available or not? I require to search, sir. Search operation will become very easy instead of, sir, creating new object. Are you able to understand? That's why, with respect to time complexities, creation of object is very costly operation in any programming language. So we are not creating multiple objects. Automatically, performance by default is going to be improved. Even it is taking some time, no problem at all. Suppose search operation. Assume that checking operation is going to take one nanosecond. Assume that But object creation is going to take, object creation may take 1000 nanoseconds or 10,000 nanoseconds. Then can you please observe that? Which is the very costly? Divya, which is the very costly? Are you able to understand? Array? Yes. Are you able to understand? Yes. So when compared with this one, it is not that much costly. That's why. So this is the recommended instead of this one. That's why creating new object is not required if the object is already available. So this is the thing which is going to be happen internally. Because of that, the biggest advantage of this approach is memory utilization and performance improvements are there. Clear for all of that? Python follows good approach or not? Yes, man. Python follows good approach or not? Yes. Okay. So now take very special care about this one. Sir, if you are getting something compulsory, we have to miss something. Universal rule, sir. Okay, if you are getting something compulsory, we require to miss something. Correct or not? Okay. Best example, sir. Now I'm taking Python class. Okay, what advantage I'm going to get? Sir, I have full satisfaction. At the same time, I may get the money. At the same time, I'm covering the subject for several people, right? But what is the problem? Sir, for me, outside my girlfriend is waiting. Are you getting that? Just kidding, sir. For me, sir, outside my girlfriend is waiting, sir. Okay? Sir, once I have to complete the class, then automatically, until completing my class, my girlfriend should be waiting stay. After completing the class, she is going to give left and right. Are you getting? If I want something, I have to compromise something or not? Array, respond, man. Yes, if I'm getting something, then obviously we should compromise. We should miss something, sir. Sir, here, what we are getting, sir, memory utilization, performance got improved like anything. But what we are missing, the missing thing is, sir, how many references point into the same object? Yes, in the last class, I covered with the memory level proofs also. How many references point into the same object? Sir, 3 references. By mistake, this Z person want to change the content instead of 10, yes, 11. Instead of 10, yes, 11. If this person is allowed to change the content, then the remaining references are going to be affected or not? Array, can you please tell? Because in Python, same object can be reused by multiple references, man. Multiple references. So, if one person is allowed to change the content, then all the remaining people will be affected or not? Yes. To prevent this one, we are not allowed to change the content. Remember that. Once we create an object, then we are not allowed to change the content. The reason for that is all the remaining references are going to be affected. To overcome this problem, immutability concept is required. Are you getting? If you want to enjoy with memory utilization, performance improvements, compulsory we have to make object as immutable. So, why Python objects are immutable? This is the internal reason. Everyone can able to understand? Respond. Are you getting that? So this is because for every change, I require to create a new object. And so on. It is one way, it is the drawback only. Remember that, okay? Because why this new object is required to create? Because other references are going to be affected. Why other references are going to be affected? Because all these people are using the same object. So, if you want to get memory utilization improvements and performance improvement, sir, internally, these objects should be implemented as immutable. Immutability. Why immutability concept is required? Just because of this reusing same object only. If reusing same object is not there, immutability concept is not required, sir. Are you in a position to understand? A bit top level information, internal memory level information, but how many people are getting? I don't know that. But the people who are not getting, sir, my level is not that much. Not that much. Simple, remember only one point, sir. All primitive objects, I mean all fundamental objects in Python are immutable. Once we create an object, we are not allowed to change its content. Remember that. Is it clear? Are you able to understand? Okay, sir, why immutability is required? Can you please tell the reason? Anyone? Why immutability concept is required? Anyone, can you please tell the reason? Because if one person is allowed to change the content, then all the remaining references are going to be affected. Are you getting? So how to prevent that one? Make the objects as immutable. Remember that, sir. Clear, right? Any explanation is required? That's all, sir. Okay, sir, now there is one more small thing. I explained already in the last sessions, right? Sir, this one is also very, very important, sir. Very, very important. Sir, now A is equal to 10, B is equal to 10. Okay, like this. Sir, C is equal to 10. Can you please tell how many objects will be created? How many objects will be created? Only one. Only one. Even I showed practical proof also. Have you remembered, right? Only one object will be created, sir. Sir, if you observe, A is equal to 10, B is equal to 10, next C is equal to 10. Sir, how to print A and the B? Both are pointing to the same object. ID of A, ID of A, ID of A, next ID of B, next and after that ID of C. Are you getting? ID of C, like this we can take. Sir, are you getting? In all cases, same address we are going to get. What is the meaning of that is? What is the meaning of that is? Do you know? Only one object is available. If you want, you can use A is B, A is B, or B is C, B is C, or A is C. Are you getting? Is means both are pointing to the same object or not. For that purpose, we can use which functions are is function, right? But take a bit very, very special care. Reusing same object, such type of concept is defined only in the following ranges. Only in the following ranges, sir. Very important, sir. You never going to get even from the Python books also these internal things. Don't worry, sir. Compulsory more concentration must be required, sir. The people who don't know about programming, more number, at least 2 times or 3 times you have to view this video, mandatory, sir. Only in the following ranges. If it is the int type, 0 to 256. Remember this one, sir. If it is the int type 0 to 256. Next one after that, if it is the bool type always. Because how many Boolean values? Respond. How many Boolean values? Only 2. True or false? That's why only 2. Always reuse the same object only. Sir, str type always, sir. Even in the case of string also, always, sir. Even in the case of string also, always, sir. Up to these 3 data types we covered, sir. What are the remaining data types? Anyone, can you please tell? What are the remaining data types, right? Sir, one is float, second one is complex. One is float, second one is complex, sir. Sir, make sure a bit very dangerous point I'm ready to talk, sir. Make sure in the case of float and double, always a new object by default will be created. Always reusing same object, such type of concept is not available for float and double, float and complex, right? In the case of float, in the case of complex, always a new object by default will be created, sir. I mean what we call reusing same object is applicable only in the case of int type, only in the case of Boolean type, only in the case of str type, not in the remaining cases. Observe that. Everyone can able to understand? Ayo, can you please confirm? Are you in a position to understand my point? Reusing the same object, up to what level it is applicable? In the case of int 0 to 256, Boolean always, str always, but float and complex, always a new object by default will be created, sir. Sir, in the case of string also, no limit. If you want, in all cases by default, it's always going to use existing object only. Now my question is, why only these ranges? Are you getting that? Why Python people strict only these ranges? Anyone having this doubt? Please respond. Anyone having this doubt? Sir, why Python people stricted only these ranges? Or even for 1000 also, if I can create A is equal to 1000, A is equal to 1000, B is equal to 1000, B is equal to 1000. Do you know A is equal to 1000, B is equal to 1000? Like At that time also, if I reuse the same object, then automatically performance by default will be improved. Some people may have such type of doubt, right? Correct or not? Some people may have such type of doubt. Why the range is 0 to 256 only? Why the Boolean case SCRK? But in the case of float and complex, why sir this type of facility is not there? The people who are having very much concentration, very much interest, just legend the reason, sir. Sir, do you know? Are you usually are you drinking wine or beer or something like? Can you please confirm? How many of you are going to drink usually? Huh? Good, Naresh. Yes, how many people? Don't tell lie, man. I won't tell to your father or mother or otherwise for your wife. Don't worry. How many people are going to usually take wine? Milk only. Yeah. Okay. Here, just have a look once. Sir, if you are going to approach the doctor is going to tell, if you can take one peg per day, so it's a too healthy habit. one peg per day, good, no problem at all, sir. Up to that you can able to take, like, sir, if I can take one bottle per day, are you getting that? one bottle per day, automatically what will happen? Instead of advantage, problems are going to come or not? Liver will be damaged very soon. Direct ticket will be by default will be there, sir. Okay, so take a bit very special care. So up to certain level, anything, sir, we can enjoy. Anything we can able to enjoy, but okay, after once that level got crossed in any area, sir, once that level got crossed, instead of advantage, n number of problems will come in the picture. Remember that, sir. Okay, n number of problems by default will come in the picture. Sir, if you can take one peg per day, okay, no problem, healthy habit, happily you can take, you are not required to worry about that. But if you can take one bottle per day, direct a ticket to the heaven only. Okay, direct, not heaven or hell. Anyway, sir, direct a ticket only, right? Okay, sir, observe the difference, right? Same, sir, same. Internally, how this reusability concept is implemented in Python? Remember that, sir. Very carefully, observe a bit carefully. Sir, in the case of int, 0 to 256 is the most commonly used range. Are you getting that? In the case of 0 to 256 is the most commonly used range. Sir, you are going to write Python program, several programs. Always I is equal to 10, 20, 30, 40, 100, something like. Sir, more than 256, very rare. Correct or not? More than 256, very rare. That's why what will happen is, whenever Python start at the time of Python interpreter, at the time of Python interpreter starts, sir, before your program execution only from 0 to 256 integer objects will be created. Integer objects will be created at the beginning only, sir. Take very special care. Integer objects will be created at the beginning only. Sir, what is the range? 0 to respond. What is the range, sir? 0 to 256. Before starting your program only, 0 to 256, integer objects will be created already, sir. Even you are executing small program also, sir, first 0 to 256 integer objects will be created. In the program, sir, A is equal to 10. I want. B is equal to 10. I'm asking. C is equal to 10. I'm asking. If A is equal to 10 is required, first my Python is going to check, is already with the 10 content. Object is already available or not? Yes, already available, which got created at the beginning only. That's why A is equal to 10 means A is pointing to already created object which was created at the beginning only, right? Sir, B is equal to 10. Yes, 10 content already created. Sir, C is equal to 10 content already created. Now my question is, when this object got created, sir? Anyone, can you please tell? When this object got created? Yes, at the time of Python interpreter starts. At the time of Python virtual machine starts, at that time only this object got created. Why this type of thing is? For most commonly used range, at the beginning only the required objects created, so that at runtime we are not required to create that object separately. Automatically runtime performance by default will be improved. Clear for all of you, right? Now my question is, why the range only 0 to 256? That's why my bigger doubts are, because the reason is 0 to 256 is the most commonly used range. Then automatically one student asks, sir, if the range is minus 1 crore to plus 1 crore, sir, if we can create buffer, then automatically it will be too good, sir. Like some people may ask the question, correct? Anyone having this type of doubt? Anyone having this type of doubt? Yes. Here the reason is, if really I want to create at the time of Python interpreter starting, how many objects are required to create, sir? 2 crore objects are required to create. But out of 2 crore objects, how many objects you are going to use in your program? Maybe 2 or 3 objects. For the sake of 2 or 3 objects, creating 2 crore objects at the beginning, how stupidness it is. That's why instead of advantage, n number of problems are going to come. If you can ask, Arey Python, can you please start? Python is going to start after 1 day. Arey, why man? Python, this much time you are taking to start. Then the Python virtual machine is going to tell, because they require to create 2 crore objects, man. Are you getting that? So Python startup will become very costly. That's why, sir, the range is strictly defined for the most common range only. Everyone can able to understand? Sir, thoda basic idea. I'm not expecting complete knowledge from you, because we are at very beginning of Python. Hardly 4 or 5 classes completed, right? Okay, thoda knowledge I'm expecting, sir, not pura. Are you getting right? Are you able to understand, right? Sir, now take a bit very special case, sir. Here also, sir, now okay, sir, excellent. We are able to understand for the int. Sir, why Boolean case also, sir, always existing object only will be used. We are not required to, it never going to create any object at runtime. Sir, why, sir? Because in the case of Boolean, how many values we require to create? How many objects we require to create? Only two. My Python can be created at the beginning only. Creating 2 objects is nothing for the PVM, nothing for the Python virtual machine. That's why 2 objects will be created at the beginning only. No problem at all. Next, str case, why always? At the runtime only, str object will be created. But the reason is, most of the times in our program, sir, string literals, most of the times, same literals can be reused multiple times. Correct or not? In the program, string literal, suppose city name Hyderabad. In my complete project, how many times I'm going to use Hyderabad? Multiple times. How many times I'm going to use Python word? Multiple times. How many times I will use Durga Soft? Multiple times. That's why in the case of string, always going to use, sir, always creating the object once and then reuse multiple times, because string literal is the most commonly reused component in our programming. Okay, that's why for these kind of things, yes, reusability concept is there. Clear? Are you able to understand? No response, man. Are you able to understand? Okay, sir, first one is what? Int. What is the range? Int 0 to 256. Boolean case, always. SCR case, always, no problem. Then immediately some people may ask, sir, float and complex. Why this immutability concept is not there? Float and complex. Why this immutability concept is, immutability is there. Why this reusability concept is not there? Some people may ask. The reason for that is, anyone can you please guess? Excellent. Divya, too good. Your answer decimal value so many good. Rarely used, not used regularly. Excellent. Good. Anyone can you please tell? In the case of float and complex, why reusability concept the Python people are unable to implement, sir? Reusability concept, why Python people are unable to implement? Anyone, can you please tell the reason? Yes, man. Scientific purpose mostly used, that's why. That is not the reason. Rarely used, good, it is also not the reason. Float is the most commonly used, man. Float is also commonly used word only. Yes, man. Why in the case of float and complex? Okay. Why this a group of predefined objects won't be created yet at the time of PVM startup only? Anyone, can you please tell the reason? Mission to mission dependency, excellent. Any other words? I want to. Not predictable. Yes, excellent. Prashanti. Excellent answer. Yes, remember that. Float and complex can't give accuracy. No. Ayush, that's not correct answer. Okay. So now listen. Good, Divya. Now you are in the correct track. Now observe a bit very carefully, sir. Sir, in the case of int, what is the most commonly used range? Anyone, can you please tell? 0 to? I respond, man. In the case of int, what is the most commonly used? 256. Sir, can I able to fix most commonly used range or not? Yes, fixed. Sir, 10, 20, 30, up to 256 we are going to use, right? Like that. Sir, in the case of Boolean, how many values are there? Only two values. That's why true and false. True and false. Only two values are there, sir. Okay, like. But how many floating point values are there? Sir, just between 0 and 1. Assume that between 0 and 1 is the commonly used range. Assume that between 0 and 1, how many floating point values are there? Sir, 0.1 is there, 0.01 is there, 0.11 is there, 0.101 is there, dot. How many values are there? Infinite number of values. In between just 0 and 1 only, infinite number of values are there. Then automatically, do you know infinite number of values are there? Then automatically, how my Python virtual machine can create these many objects at the beginning? Are you in a position to understand, right? Yes, man. That's why most commonly used range for the int is possible. For the int is possible. Most commonly used range for the int you can define. For Boolean you can able to define, but for float you can't define, because between 0 and 1, Nirmal Kumar, can you please observe very carefully? Between 0 and 1, how many values are there? How many values are there between 0 and 1? How many values are there? Infinite number of values are there, not 1000. Who told you 1000, man? Who told you 1000? Infinite number of values are there. 0.1, 0.01, 0.001, 0.101, 0.1111, 0.11114, 0.51, 0.54, like infinite number of values. Then how the Python is going to decide this is the frequently used range? That's why these many objects are created. So frequently used range of objects for the float you can't define. So that's why you can't define. That's why, do you know? So for the float, it is not possible to define the range. Similarly, even complex numbers also, because 10 plus 20j. Sir, here 20 or 10 maybe floating point numbers also. That's why. So here 0.1, here 0.1. Next and after that here 0.2, like you can able to take. Perfectly valid, sir. Perfectly valid. How many number of values are there? Infinite number of values are there. That's why for complex number, for floating point number, it is impossible to define. Plus are most commonly used range. That's why reusability concept is not available for the float type and the complex numbers type. Clear? Yes. Thoda, you are getting some idea. Okay, make sure. Now Vedant Tiwari is asking excellent question, sir. Excellent question is asking. Just observe, we are at basics. How much time we are going to spend on basic, then you will get much clarity on the concept. Sir, there are infinite number of string values also. Then how the Python is going to create object? Sir, I told at the beginning, in the case of string, Python never going to create any object at the beginning. Remember that. That concept is applicable only for integer object and only for Boolean. But in the case of string, how it is? Suppose assume that S is equal to Durga I'm using. Assume that S is equal to Durga I'm taking. So you know, in my program, in our program, if you are working on any application, string literals will be reused multiple times or not? Yes, man. String literals will be reused multiple times or not? In any project, if you consider how many string literals are there, maybe 10 or maybe 20, maybe 10 or maybe 20 or maybe 30, definitely this number should be a bit less number only. Are you getting right? In any project, sir, if you consider how many number of string objects are required, string literals are required, definitely that number should not be infinite. There should be some fixed values only. Correct, right? Then there should be some fixed values only. That's why there should be some fixed values only. That's why, do you know, for the string, yes, sharing is possible, because total application, the number of predefined values are nothing but is definitely a bit less. That's why sharing, reuse, sharing, such type of terminology is applicable. Clear? Are you able to understand up to this? Okay. Now Prashanti is asking excellent doubt. You just observe that, because all these doubts you have to get clarification, I'm sure. Sir, her doubt is, have a look once. Then when they have defined float and complex types are immutable, because why? So why they did? I hope not when. Why they did have defined float and complex numbers are immutable? Because the reason is, at a language level, they want to generalize the concept. At language level, they want to generalize the concept for all data types are immutable. Based on the prediction, the default Python is implemented. Really, immutability concept is not required for float and complex, because every time a new object is going to be created. But at the language level, they assume, they developed on the prediction that, sir, all fundamental data types are immutable. Because of that, immutability concept came for float and complex numbers. But strictly speaking, immutability concept is not required for float and complex, because every time a new object is going to be created. Yes, ma'am? Are you able to understand? Prashanti, can you please respond? Are you able to understand? No response. Yes. So the important conclusion here is, sir, for float and double, really immutability concept is not required, because every time a new object is going to be created. But at language level, generalized way they implemented. That's why all fundamental data types are immutable. But tomorrow evening, I want to introduce Durga Python, my own flavor of Python, sir. In Durga Python, float and complex numbers are not immutable. Remember that, okay? So it is the default implementation they followed in that style. That's all, sir. This is the big postmortem. This is the big postmortem about, sir, immutability. Why immutable? Sir, why internally, how it is implemented? Sir, in which ranges same object will be reused, and so on. Are you in a position to understand? Everyone? How many people got clearly, sir? Can you please confirm once? Because the reason for that is, it is not that much easy concept. It is not that much easy concept, because the reason is, if you are coming from other programming languages, then it will be easy. But there are some innocent people are there who are not coming from any programming language. Or I want to learn Python first time only. If any person is there, for him, it is pure Greek and Latin cinema only. Especially for them, I want to take 1 minute class. Anyone there? Anyone there like that? Omkar, yeah, good. Anyone there? One person is Omkar. Any other person? Nirmal Kumar. Yeah. Don't worry, man. Don't worry. Even while writing Python code also, we never going to use this much level. Just aware, oh, this type of terminology is there, like that. But for you people, only two things you have to remember. Only 2 points you require to remember. What is that? Is which are fundamental data types? Can you please tell? Which are fundamental data types? Can you please tell? Int, comma, float, comma, array, respond. Int, comma, float, comma, complex, bool, next and after that what? str. These things are fundamental data types. Okay, first point you should aware. Next, all fundamental data types are immutable. Then immediately you are going to get what is the meaning of immutability. Immutable means non-changeable. Once we create an object, we are not allowed to change the content. That's all. This is the only points you require to remember. Internally, the ranges, reusability, such type of terminology, we are not required to worry about that. Clear for elaborate? Okay, that's all. These 5 data types are by default considered fundamental data types in Python. All fundamental data types are immutable. Clear? What is the meaning of immutable? Non-changeable. Once we create an object, we are not allowed to change its content. That's all, sir. I hope Nirmal Kumar. Yes, Nirmal Kumar. Are you in a position to understand, right? Just remember these points. Okay, so don't worry about, don't what we call disturb your mind by loading all these things. Don't worry about that. So that's all. This is about what is fundamental data types versus immutable. Remember that, sir. Now we have to talk about remaining data types. Sir, bytes, byte array. Next and after that, list, tuple, set, frozen set, like several things we are going to discuss, right? Don't worry about that. While discussing those, I will talk about whether mutable or immutable. Sir, don't worry about that. All these things I will discuss. Sudhir Reddy, I hope your doubt got clarified. We will discuss in detail soon. Don't worry about that. Sir, that's all. Sir, after completing these fundamental data types, what is the next one we require to talk, sir? Bytes data type. These are advanced data types, right? Okay, fundamental data types are those 5 only. Now, bytes data type. Sir, very simple. Sir, bytes, is it a single or multiple? Ayo, respond, man. Single or multiple? Bytes is nothing but multiple. Sir, bytes data type represent a group of, it represents, this data type represents a group of, remember that, a group of byte numbers. A group of byte numbers. Sir, just like an array. Okay, a group of byte numbers, just like an array. Remember that, sir. Sir, how you can create byte type? That's about my requirements, sir. Very simple. Just have a look once, sir. Just I'm taking 1 minute, please, sir. Just have a look once. How I can create, sir? A group of values. X is equal to 10, 20, 30, 40. I'm taking, sir. Listen very carefully. Sir, now this X is a group of values, but it is not byte. It is not bytes type. Remember that. How I can able to get bytes types are B is equal to bytes of X. Remember that. B is equal to bytes of X. Sir, now this B itself is byte data type. Are you getting that? This B itself is nothing but what? Byte data type. Sir, this bytes type contain how many values internally? Can you please respond? How many values internally, sir? 4 values by default will be there. If you want to go for a group of values, then just like an array, happily we can go for what? Bytes data type. Clear? It's something like an array only. Something like it's an array. Don't worry about that. It is right. But now let me print what is the type of B. What is the type of B, sir? What is the type of B? Yes. Here, very simple. What is the type, sir? Bytes. Internally, is it a bytes or not? Yes. Remember that it is one sequence, a group of values, right? Okay. So now, how you can able to access? How you can access array elements? How you can able to access array elements? By using index. Here, that index concept is applicable. B of 0 means 10 I'm going to get. B of 1 means 20 I'm going to get. B of -1 means, anyone can you please tell? Anyone can you please tell? What is that -1? Yes, we covered already. Positive 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 means left to right. -1, -2, -3, -4 means right to left. That's why B of -1 is equal to 40 by default we are going to get, sir. Okay. Next, here B of 0 followed by 2, sir, or 0 followed by 3 I'm taking. Can you please observe what is the value? Internally, of course, it is going to return some value, some object we are going to get, sir. It is not error, object we are going to get. How you can get all values one by one? For, observe that, for here, for 1 minute, why it's not? For x in B. Are you getting that? What I'm taking, sir? For x in B. B is what type? Are you respond? B is what type? Why respond, man? B is what type? Bytes, not byte. Bytes type. Bytes type. For x in B, print of x. Print of x. Then automatically, what is the output by default? You are going to get, sir, 10, 20, 30, 40. Of course, this is a for loop. We will discuss in so on. Don't worry. Sir, sorry, this is x, right? Can you please print off x? For x in B, print off x means in B, every value. Can you please print like this? That's what you people should aware. Sir, what is bytes? What is byte? Byte, make sure, sir, you people should aware. Okay, sir, Divya, what you can do is just a print a type of B of 03. Internally, some object type by default we are going to get. Okay, remember. Next, sir, it is something like for each loop in Java. The people who are coming from Java, it is something like for each loop. We will discuss in detail. Don't worry about that. Okay, clear, right? Sir, everyone having the basic idea. Can you spell out what is the bytes data type? Ayo, respond. What is the bytes? Bytes data type, sir? A group of byte values. If you want to hold, then automatically we can go for bytes data type. Okay, if you want to hold a group of values, then happily we can go for bytes data type, sir. Sir, now my question is, there are two important conclusions are there, sir. What is the first conclusion? Remember very, very carefully, sir. In the bytes data type, every value should be in the range 0 to 256 only. So in between 0 to 256 range, if you want to represent a group of values, then we should go for what? Bytes data type. Remember conclusion 1. Every value in the bytes data type, sir, compulsory should be in the range. Anyone, can you please tell what is in the range, sir? 0 to 256 only. By mistake. Okay, if it is not in this range, immediately you are going to get error, because internally byte is going to be considered within this range. Yet internally, while defining bytes data type, the range is fixed like 0 to 256. Remember that, sir. Okay, sir, 0 to 256 is a very common requirement or not? Array 0 to 256 is a very common requirement or not? That's why a group of such type of values, happily you can define as bytes data type, no problem at all. Sir, just have a look once, sir. I told already here, just observe a bit carefully, sir. I'm taking, sir, x is equal to, sir, 10, 20, 256, 258 I'm taking. Okay, it is not bytes type. It is not byte type. Now I'm taking B is equal to bytes of x. Are you getting? B is equal to bytes of x. Can you tell, is it valid or invalid? Respond. Is it valid or invalid? Valid or invalid? Invalid. Why this one is the invalid? Anyone, can you please tell the reason? Why this one is the invalid? Because the reason is 258. Can you please observe that? Sir, bytes must be in the range 0 to 256. Are you in a position to understand, right? What error by default we are going to get? Value error. Bytes must be in the range 0 to 256 only. If you are taking beyond that range, automatically we are going to get the error, sir. Remember that value error, bytes must be in the range 0 to 256 only. Observe that very carefully. So first conclusion is the very clear, sir. In the bytes data type, every value should be in the range 0 to 256. Sir, second one, I want to tell carefully, observe a bit very carefully, sir. Sir, byte bytes data type is immutable. Can you spell out once again, sir? Bytes data type is the mutable or immutable? Array, bytes data type is the mutable or immutable? Immutable. What is the meaning of immutable, sir? Once we create bytes data type, once we create byte data type, bytes data type, you are not allowed to change its content. By mistake, if you are trying to change the content, immediately you are going to get the error, right? Okay, observe that. Let me show, sir. X is equal to x is equal to 10 comma 20 comma 30 comma 40. I'm taking x is equal to 10 20 30 40. Sir, b is equal to, can you please tell what is the function? I forgot, sir. Please respond. What is the function I require to use? Bytes. If you want to convert bytes of x. Okay, excellent. Sir, b is ready. Bytes is ready, sir. Now b of 0. I'm trying to print. What is the value? Ayo, b of 0. What is the value? 10. Excellent. Sir, b of 0. I don't want 10. I want to make as 777. Sorry, sir. I want to make as 120. 120. In the range only. B of 0 is equal to 120. In the range only. But if you can ask this one, immediately Python is going to give left and right. Left and right. Hey, you are not allowed to perform any change to these bytes. It is the immutable, man. Item, bytes object does not support item assignment. You are not allowed to perform any changes, man. Sorry. Like it's going to tell. Are you getting right? What is this error by default we are getting, sir? Type error. Bytes object does not support item assignment. Is it clear for all of you, right? So very simple. If you want to represent a group of values in the range 0 to 256 with the immutable nature, then we should go for what? Bytes data type. Clear? But how many times we are going to use? Very rare, sir. Don't worry. But all possible data types I'm discussing. Okay? This is one data type, bytes data type, right? Everyone can able to understand? Hey, respond. Everyone can able to understand? Yes, ma'am. Okay, that's all. This is one thing you should aware. Sir, what is the range? Which type of values? Which values are allowed in the bytes data type? 0 to? Array, respond, man. 0 to 256. Only 0 to 256, right? Bytes data type is the mutable or immutable? Bytes data type is the mutable or immutable? Immutable. That's all, sir. Next data type we require to talk, sir. Byte array. Are you getting what is the type, sir? Can I spell out? Byte array. Sir, what is the difference between bytes data type, byte array data type? Sir, simple answer. Both are same. Both are same, sir. Simple answer, both are same. Sorry, both are same. Why two types are allowed? Only difference. Byte array is mutable. Are you getting? Sir, I want to represent a group of values in the range 0 to 250, say, but if I want to change the values also. Mutable nature I want. Then automatically we can go for one byte array. Sir, what is the difference between bytes data type and byte array? Array, respond, man. Yes. Bytes data type and byte array. Sir, bytes data type mutable or immutable? Immutable. Byte array is mutable or immutable? Immutable, sir. But except that range, everything is always same. No difference at all. Everything is always same. Only difference is that is immutable. Sir, this one is mutable. Except that there is no other difference, right? Make sure. Sir, you may ask, sir, can you please show with an example, right? Here, observe that. X is equal to, sir, 10, 20, 30, 40 I'm taking. Very simple, sir. B is equal to, earlier, which function I used? Respond. Which function I used to create byte array? Bytes type, bytes function. But now which function I require to use, right? Byte array. Are you getting same? Instead of bytes, I'm using byte array. Byte array of X, sir. Byte array of X. Okay, that's all. Sir, now can you please print the type of B, sir? Now I want to print type of B. Can you please observe which type, sir? Can you please observe which type? Byte array. Now have a look once, sir. B of 0 is equal to 120. Can you please guide? Is it allowed or not allowed? Respond. Is it allowed or not allowed? Allowed. I'm not getting any error, sir. I'm not getting any error, sir. For I in B, print of I, sir. For I in B, print of I. For each value present in this B, print of I. Sir, can you please observe what are the values by default I'm getting? 120, 20, 30, 40. Internally, 10 will be replaced with 120 or not? Respond. 10 will be replaced with 120 or not? Yes. That's what you people should aware clearly, right? So compulsory, the value should be in the range. The value should be in the range. Compulsory, sir, within the range only. Remember, sir, where is the proof for that? You people may ask. Sir, just observe x is equal to 10, 20, 10, 20, 128. I'm taking, sir. X is equal to 10, 20. Sir, b is equal to what is the function? Byte array of x I'm taking, sir. Okay, byte array of x, sir. Take a bit very special care. 0 to 256, right? No problem, sir. It's acceptable. 0 to 256 is the range, right? Okay. Now I'm taking, sir, b of 0 is equal to 258. Is it allowed or not allowed? Good. Is it allowed or not allowed? Allowed or not? Not allowed. Not allowed, because the range is bytes type or byte array type. Compulsory the value should be in the range 0 to 256 only, but I'm trying to take 258. Now I will look once. Byte must be in the range 0 to 256 only. Clear, right? That's all, sir. Sir, very simple. If you want to represent a group of byte values, a group of byte values from 0 to 256, better to go for either bytes data type or byte array data type. What is the difference between bytes data type and byte array? Bytes data type is immutable, but byte array data type is mutable. Clear? Oi, are you able to understand? Yes. 2 data types, right? It's a very clear for you. But anyway, how many times we are going to use, right? Generally, we never going to use, right? Okay? Generally, we never going to use. Oh, Divya, why you are getting this out? I didn't get you. Sir, what if I want to take 344 as the value? Sir, what? If we want to take 344 as the value, then you should not go for bytes. You should not go for bytes data type, byte array. Sir, don't think these are the only data types, allowed data types in the Python. Are you getting right? There are multiple other types are there. If your requirement is more than this range, better to go for list, better to go for tuple, better to go for set, frozen set, or individually you can able to specify. Clear, right? Divya, are you able to understand my answer? Yes, sir, I want to represent 344. What is the option? If you provide 344 here, definitely you will get value error. But how I can able to represent? There are multiple other data types are there. Who told to you to go for bytes and byte array? Okay, sir, if your requirement is not in that range, then you should not use this type. Remember that. Sir, that's all this is. Sir, up to this, what data types we covered, sir? Can you spell out, sir? We covered about integer type, we covered float type, we covered. Next one after that one, complex type we discussed. Next str, even bool type also we covered. Next one after that, we covered about sir, what is the next one? Bytes type we covered, byte array also. That's also these are data types we covered. Okay, next concept onwards. Sir, take a bit very special care, because no one is going to use bytes type and byte array type, but remaining things compulsory the people are going to use, right? That's why, sir, take a bit very special care about this terminology, sir. Sir, what is the next one? List data type. Are you getting list data type? Right? Sir, now if you want to represent a group of values, as a single entity, where insertion order is preserved, and the duplicates are allowed. duplicates are allowed. Observe that a bit very carefully, sir. In which order? In which order? Sir, we are taking insertion order is preserved and the duplicates are allowed. Then we should go for list data type. Sir, it is exactly same as Java specific terminology only. Don't worry about that. Everyone can able to understand, right? Sir, list data type. List data type. When we should go for list data type, sir, if you want to represent a group of values as a single entity where insertion order is preserved, next on the duplicates are allowed. Insertion order is preserved and the duplicates are allowed. Then happily we can go for what? List data types are okay. Make sure. Then we should go for what? List data type, right? Okay. So now what is the meaning of sir insertion order preserved? Insertion order preserved. Now observe. Sir, don't worry. Just to get the basic idea, I'm providing, sir. How to represent, sir? L is equal to bracket open, bracket close. Sir, is it empty or not? Array, is it empty or not? Bracket open, bracket close. Empty, sir. Empty. Let me print type of L, sir. Let me print a type of L. Sir, have you observed? List. Sir, make sure in Python, list of values we can represent within square brackets. Remember, this convention is a very, very important, sir. List of values. If it is the list, compulsory we have to specify by using what? Square bracket convention. Are you getting square bracket convention, right? Okay. Sir, now L is equal to square bracket convention we require to follow. Sir, now L dot I want to add an object. L dot I want to add an object. Have you observed, right? Append. If you want to add an object, append is the method. Sir, append of 10. Sir, I added L dot append of 10. Sir, now L dot append of 20 I'm taking, sir. L dot append of 20. L dot append of L dot append of 30 I'm taking, sir. Sir, how many values I added? Can you please tell? How many values I added, sir? I respond. How many values I added? 3 values. L dot append of sir 10 I'm taking. Sir, that's all. Now, if I print L, just take very, very special case, sir. If I print L, what will happen is, legend this one, print L. If I print L, now, are you in a position to understand? 10, 20, 30, 10. 10, 20, 30, 10. Sir, insertion order preserved or not preserved? I respond. Insertion order preserved or not? Preserved. In which order we added? Sir, 10, 20, 30, 10. In the same order only. Inside memory it is represented, man. Next, duplicates are allowed or not allowed? Please respond. Duplicates are allowed or not allowed? Happily, duplicates are allowed. No problem at all. Duplicates are allowed. Insertion order preserved itself is nothing but acceptable. Okay. Now, heterogeneous objects are allowed or not? Heterogeneous objects are allowed or not? Yes. What is the meaning of heterogeneous objects? What is the meaning of heterogeneous objects? Different type of objects, right? L dot append of, okay, sir, Durga I'm taking. L dot append of Durga I'm taking, sir. Sir, now print of L. Happily Durga also by default came in the picture. Okay. So this is what you people should aware clearly, right? Okay. Next, one person is asking, is a very Kumar Bhaskar. Is coming directly from Java, it seems. Null is allowed or not? Null is allowed or not? Remember that, sir. Null is allowed or not? Null, such type of story, not applicable in Python. Remember that. Sir, don't apply Java terminology here. Null, such type of story is not applicable, right? Sir, if I can add none, what will happen? None, because equivalent value is nothing but what? None. If I add none, what will happen? Acceptable. Now observe the print of L. Are in a position to understand, right? Something like in Java, null, but here none is also allowed, no problem at all, sir. So insertion order is preserved. Heterogeneous objects are allowed. Duplicates objects are allowed. Next, either list object is the growable or not? I respond. Either list object is the growable or not? Yes, growable. Based on our requirement, we can increase, we can decrease. Both options by default available. Remember that, sir. We can increase and we can decrease. Both options by default available. Okay. Like Next, yeah. Naresh GT is asking some doubt. Why? Naresh, here, do you know Durga? Durga is what? String. Compulsory in Python, string value should be enclosed with a single quote or double quote. Remember, Python, string value should be enclosed with a single quote or double quote. That's why compulsory, we require to use a single quote or double quote. Otherwise, it won't work. Okay, that's all. Next, take a bit very special care. Here, if you want to access the values, how you can able to access? By using index is applicable and even slice operator also applicable, right? Sir, now I'm taking L of 0. Anyone, can you please tell what is the output? L of 0, what is the output, sir? 10. 10 is the answer. Sir, L of minus 1, what is the answer? L of minus 1. Sir, none. None means nothing. There is no output at all. L of minus 1 means what? None. Nothing. Okay, like nothing. Sir, here just I'm taking L of sir 1 to 5 I'm taking. 1 to 5 means sir 1, 2, 3, 4 only. Sir, 1 means this is. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up to that only, right? Sir, can you please observe? 1, 2, 3, 4. Correct or not? Okay. Sir, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Sir, begin to n the minus 1. Slice operator is also by default applicable. Okay. That's all. So, an ordered. Sir, that's all. This is about list type, sir. Just the basic introduction, sir. List data type, we are going to discuss in detail with 2 or 3 sessions. So don't worry about that. There we have to talk about multiple. Just a basic idea, sir. That's all. Sir, can you please tell in list, sir, either order is important or not? Yes, ma'am. Yes, insertion order is preserved or not? Yes, order is important. Next, duplicates are allowed or not allowed? Duplicates are allowed. Next, heterogeneous objects are allowed or not? What is the meaning of heterogeneous? Different type of objects are allowed or not? Yes. Is it growable in nature or not? Yes. Happily, do you know we can able to grow? Growable nature is allowed. Next, values should be enclosed with. Can I spell out, sir? Is it values will be enclosed with square bracket? Are you getting within square bracket? So growable nature means yes, increasing is possible, reducing is also possible, right? Don't worry about that. Increasing concept is applicable, even decreasing concept is also applicable. Reducing, we can reduce the size. So just use remove operation. You can use remove operation automatically. By default values will be removed, sir. Sir, L dot remove of 10. L dot remove of. L dot remove of 10 I'm taking. Then automatical remove. If I can print of L, observe that print of L first 10 by default gone. So based on our requirement, you can increase the size, you can decrease the size. So that's why it is considered as okay, growable or reducible. Both options are available. Clear, right? Sir, an ordered, mutable, heterogeneous collection of elements is nothing but list where duplicates are allowed. Clear, right? Are you able to understand? Are you getting basic idea about? Okay, this list concept. Okay, that's all, sir. Still, so just that's all. These are various things what you people should aware, sir. Sir, in the next session, we require to talk about what is the tuple, dictionary, set, a frozen set. Like, sir, by tomorrow, I will give the finishing touch for this data types. Make sure, sir, you people should aware, but data types is one concept where each and every person should have strong idea. Remember that, sir. Okay, that's all. Just tomorrow we will meet for the continuation part. Okay, just wait for him.